Inflation is supposed to have peaked, but food prices are still going up and up.
I've bought 4 mangoes, they're not very big, and I paid £8 for them, and normally you wouldn't pay that much. I think it sounds like they've doubled in price.
It's things like eggs and butter and milk that have really gone up a lot, just the basic things.
Buyers at Kirkgate Market in Leeds are suffering, and so are sellers.
Customers argue with you, but the thing is, the retailer gets the brunt of it, because we have to buy it regardless, because if you can't have empty shelves, can you, with no on it?
So what's happening here? Well, inflation in general is beginning to slow, running around 10%. But food prices rose by 20% in the year to March. It's the fastest rise in 45 years. And they're rising for all types of food, but especially for dairy products. 29.7% in that category. Cheddar cheese has risen 42% in a year. Now, supermarket and dairy manufacturers say that rising input costs, things like the cost of fuel and wages, have forced them to raise checkout prices for things like milk, cheese and butter. But if you dig under the bonnet, something else seems to be happening. New analysis by the Sky News data team tells a bit more of a complicated story. So the input cost for dairy manufacturers has risen, but nowhere near as much as the prices they're charging to retailers in yellow. And the prices that retailers have charged to consumers, that's been rising even more. And look at those graphs on the left. You can see that in recent months, those prices, the inputs, they have started to fall, started to flatline, but the consumer prices continue to rocket. And we can look at those input prices in a bit more detail. You can see just how much energy and grains, they were really high, but they have been coming down. So shouldn't the price of food come down too?
Was today's meeting a success?
Well, the head of the National Farmers Union warned that the pain is here to stay.
I think it's about fairness in that supply chain. Farmers are not going to be able to keep producing food if they're not getting a fair return for the costs that they are facing into. And we're seeing effectively 50% cost inflation for food producing businesses. So it's about everybody sharing that pain.
She was speaking at a special summit for the food industry at Downing Street.
The government is supporting people on the lowest income with the Household Support Fund. Payments have been going out to people in order to help with that particular cost of living challenge. But more broadly, of course, we're seeing changes to energy costs, seeing them start to come down. That's critical for the food industry as well.
New inflation figures come out next week. And the Sky News data team will be looking at why consumer prices are rising, even while the inputs are falling. The government says that food inflation isn't going away soon. Bad news for all of us buying our daily bread. Tom Cheshire, Sky News.